It's amazing to see the energy on ground in Karnataka as the young voters are so opinionated, have a lot to say about Karnataka elections, and of course, the kind of perception that it would set for 2024 national elections. The Lok Sabha elections also coming in barely a year's time, and we have the youth here wanting to convey quite a lot to our netas. Let me cut across to our Karnataka's first year. Karnataka is going to elections. Are you all excited?
Yes!
That's it. Yes! Okay, tell me more about what you're looking forward for your state.
One thing is I'm hoping that there's going to be better infrastructure,
Right.
and I want them to improve the metro so the transportation can be way easier.
Metro is also already on its way, but last mile connectivity seems to be a struggle for Bangalore.
Exactly. So if they make plans to expand it, it's going to be really helpful, especially for universities like this, which is like in the outskirts of the city.
Right.
So it's going to be very helpful for the
Right. So if you want to get to a far-flung area in Bengaluru, even if you take a metro, it does not have last mile connectivity. So you have to still hop onto another vehicle, still hop onto your public transport or a private vehicle to get there. What would be your vision for Karnataka?
One thing is, especially infrastructure, and the other thing is I would want better internet service should be provided by the government.
Better internet service. That's interesting. Why don't we have good internet here?
No, because basically the Karnataka facing lot of internet issues because students are facing have to do assignments and etc. anything. They need internet basically. So
You guys are spoiled by Presidency University. I see that very clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest about this, service to the citizens first of the Karnataka and slum areas. Obviously, even education sector has to be improved, and apparently,
You want education to every rung of people. If the poorest of the poor must be entitled to good education.
exactly, they all should have an opportunity for being educated because we all know how education is going on right now in Karnataka, and
The public sector schools must be uplifted. Yeah.
We are known as the IT capital of the country. There are many people who are moving into our city. We must focus on the housing sector, which has been facing a lot of criticism. The transportation in this city is not up to the best. The traffic is killing a lot of time because time is money and we are losing millions of dollars just being stuck in traffic. And the major thing is this government and the future government must focus on the farmers of this state because the farmers are the backbone of our nation.
Absolutely. All right. So when it comes down to basic issues, transport, infrastructure, IT sector, basically connectivity, internet is what I hear at large. But what do politicians usually speak during their poll campaigns? You know, taking jibes at one another, caste politics, evoking God's name. Does that really bother or affect you?
Yeah, of course it really does. I feel like it's a Trojan horse that they put up, especially during the, election time. But regardless of who wins or who loses, I feel like the policies that were brought forward by the previous government should not just go out of the window just because a new party is elected, because the problems of the masses remain the same, and since they are representing us, they should carry on forward with, just like the metro as an example. It was being built since the last 15 years and it's stuck just because the ruling party keeps changing.
So each time a party changes, your developmental work gets stopped.
Yeah, there's no consistency. So I think that's something.
So talking about the religion thing, this time I don't think that working on that religion propaganda. This time, if we go for the manifesto, all the promises, it's all will give you free electricity, will give you this mission, will give you that mission.
Well, Congress has said they'll build many Anjaneya temples in the state of Karnataka.
There, this time
We don't need temples.
we need more electricity and more internet connection to do assignments.
Free electricity.
That is one of the manifestos to give.
Good or bad? Freebies.
I would like to talk about the coalition governments. As we see, when there is a coalition government, there mostly a defection. So this time, I am hoping there will be no defection because due to defection, the government collapses and there is uncertainty in the government by polls, etc.
Stability is what you're looking at. Anyone for freebie culture? I really want to have. Yeah, go on.
So freebies is not for us basically. If you talk about the BPL people who cannot basically afford, so the freebies concept is a very innovative and a very advanced.
It's not innovative.
It's very advantageous if we can talk about
Advantages
It
maybe,
is
but not innovative for sure.
So let's
Tried and tested formula.
So it's advantages for the BPL, not for maybe the middle class, but the BPL it is a very good step.
Okay. For BPL, it's probably still something that India could be looking at.
So
freebie culture.
yes, freebie mainly focuses on the BPL, the citizen who are below poverty line. But the main thing is now it's used for the politics, like I would like to say dirty politics, because you know what, they should consider the budget thing when they are considering the freebies, because
I'm sure they've considered budget before doling out freebies, but the point is it not pampering voters?
It is.
In the long run. If you dole out freebies, how far will you go with that?
Actually, that is the point I'm making, that freebies mostly right now is using for their politics.
It should ideally be for BPL families. Tell me more about how would you see this election pan out for 2024 national election?
I feel this election will not much impact the general election, because looking at the previous trends in 2013 when INS came to power in Bangalore, still in 2014 we saw BJP in the center. So I feel the people are very careful while choosing.
You are saying BJP will still come to power?
No, we cannot say if the ruling party will again come into power, but I'm just analyzing the trends, and by the trends we can say that voters are very careful while choosing their state assembly leaders and choosing their
Center. But
Actually, I don't agree with that, because the Karnataka election actually impacts the upcoming election in Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and other states. So it's, of course, it's going to affect the national election.
okay, what but the outcome here in Karnataka is sure. My view is sure to affect at least the tally, the total tally and the roundup for 2024, undoubtedly. But how would you envision our politicians to sort of, what kind of politics should you hope from our politicians? From our
I would like to say the first thing you spoke about caste in politics, especially when it comes to voting and everything, and that's extremely wrong, because it puts so many communities against each other and it goes against our constitution in many ways. So they should stop that first. And I feel what I would like to say is that voting is our basic right, and it should be done in the utmost ethical manner, and everyone should and must exercise this right, because it's not only the future of our country but also our future, and it impacts so many other people, not just the middle class but the lower working class and the upper class as well. But I would just like to say that.
So no caste religious politics that really impacts your mood and motivation to vote, does it?
Well, it does. I mean, even if we see the educational ground, you go to the government colleges or school, caste preference is more there. So I agreeing to her what she said, that caste system should be
Abolished. Caste system should be abolished. In that case, I would beg to ask you, would you not want to see reservation and quota system too? Should we do away with that either?
We should, because in a lot of cases when in a lot of cases such as exams and then college reservations again, we give priority, not priority exactly, the general caste, subdues when it comes to all of these things. So maybe for having a fair chance in everything, no abolishment of caste would play a vital role.
Basically, setting aside caste differences and maybe going based on merit. That's more or less what.
But reservation still should be on the basis of economic backwardness.
I agree, because India is still at a stage where we still need to uplift the poor, uplift the marginalized, and once we get to a strong position, then we could think of doing away with it completely. But unfortunately, as much as the reservations and quota system that's doled out, it's often not the deserving ones actually benefiting from it. Even if 50% are deserving are benefiting, the other 50 is usually, I don't know.
That's how actually people are finding the loopholes. That's the work, like the government has to see.
Maybe a foolproof plan and system.
I'm talking about reservation. I'm totally against it, because even when I came to this university, I come in the general category. So it was very difficult for me to join a university like this. So on my personal basis, I think the reservation should be abolished.
What about you?
Should be abolished.
You also don't want, no reservation for you. Tell me.
No, it would be helpful for people who are, low caste people or something. They will come forward to, at least the ones who are not at all coming forward, for the ones who are not even getting educated or something.
For them, some kind of quota system and opportunities is at least available without having to struggle that much.
It should be abolished.
Should be abolished. All right. Go on. Tell me more about how would you see national politics as of today shaping up? Tell me. Go on. Yeah.
Well, I feel that it's more of an agenda-based thing, and I personally believe that, politics, especially political parties or leaders, should give more emphasis on, development of people, other than promoting agendas, maybe human development index or some kind of, like talking specifically of Karnataka or any other place, especially in India, we always talk about equality and everything, but what we need more is, I feel, equity, because I feel equity is much more necessary, and that is something like political parties should aware people about and should promote, rather than focusing on winning or promoting.
When the youth is so wise, I don't know, and when they have enough and more opinions to give, I not too sure if netas actually care to listen.
Ma'am, I feel like in the elections, it should be a coalition government at the end of the day, because we have.
Oh, yeah, so you're not all for you're for coalition, even if there is.
Yeah, I'm pro coalition.
Basically, a democratic setup. That's what we thrive on. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, because we have we have amazing leaders who represent us, from the Prime Minister to the people who are in specific parties. They represent us really well. It's just their personal differences that get in the way during the time of elections.
I think coalition will also help decentralize power, right? Imagine one party one party in power through and through for how many decades? It probably gets to their head. Yeah?
Definitely, ma'am, because when they realize that their feelings, like our human rights, are way more important than their feelings, development will actually come through. And I feel like the Gen Z is understanding that now, and in the next elections, it will be way more.
What I'm so pleasantly surprised of is, as much as we talk about the youth are so disconnected from politics, here are a bunch of students from Presidency University who are super plugged and engaged and understand the political nuances so well. These are people who are now going to be voting, many of them first-time voters. So it's an exciting affair for them to see our elections in just about a few days' time. Did I miss anyone? Go on. No, what is this, ma'am? So finally, Karnataka is going to elections. You're seeing all kinds of polarized issues that are being put to the forefront this election. What would be your message to netas?
My message to netas is we must forget caste, religion, creed and the region we belong to. We all must unite as one nation. We must unite under the Tiranga, and we must understand that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we go for worship or where we eat or what we eat or how we dress to an educational institute. At the end, what I want is that my fellow citizens have a full stomach when they go to sleep, have the equal rights and have the equal opportunity to education.
So well said. What about you? Give me that's it? No message to the netas?
Improvement in the education field and better employment.
All right, better employment.
Ma'am, whatever they promise, if they fulfill, that would be
That is more than enough. Whatever you said in your manifesto,
Same thing. Whatever they promise, let them fulfill it.
All right. Finally,
As everything in concluding here, as if my fellow mates said, rather to focus on their pockets, rather to focus on their feelings, focus on us, focus on our rights, focus on everything that we need.
awesome. Thank you very much, you guys. I think this is the bright future that we're seeing of India. India is the youngest population in the world. And these are people who are finally, eventually going to shape the future of our country. So all the very best. Please do go cast your vote. This is Nabila Jamal signing off for India Today with my camera person Prashant, Bengaluru.